I'm John Howard. I'm with the Phoenix Police Department, and I've been our primary speaker for our Serial Street Shooter series. Has everybody here at least heard of our series? We're getting some community feedback that people don't even know about it. Hard to believe because we've been promoting it as much as we possibly can. The other thing that I want to get out very early in this discussion is that the people that are saying they don't know about this, it's not a lack of communication on behalf of the Phoenix Police Department, it's a lack of information. So there are a lot of people that have a lot of questions, but nobody more than the police department right now. We have shared all of the information because these crimes to date have been extremely random. Random crimes are very challenging to solve, obviously. We don't know who's at risk. We don't know where or if he will strike again. So we want people to be aware of what's going on in their neighborhood so that they can take steps to protect themselves. You want me to keep going?
Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the shooting happened on the 51 last night. Are you guys throwing that in the mix too? Or?
So we're not. So
Okay.
every crime right now that we find that we first get is immediately evaluated to see if it's at all related to the series so that we can make sure the same team of investigators and the expanded team of investigators are first on scene or are out there investigating it from day one. There are no indications that last night's incident is at all related to this series or any of the other series that we've had the unfortunate occurrences here in Phoenix, be it the freeway shooter or the ones from days past. So let me just recap a little bit more about what's been going on. So since March 17th, we've had 9 separate incidents of random street shootings. And I call them street shootings because the suspect has, for the most part, been in the street. He has targeted people that are in or around vehicles within residential neighborhoods. So I would imagine that's pretty much where every one of us in the room lives, all right? In a residential neighborhood, near the street. I mean, it's just, that's why it affects all of us. Another challenge that we've had is that when we first identified the series, we saw 4 incidents in the Maryville section of Phoenix. It was about 67th Avenue to, about 51st Avenue, McDowell Road to Indian School, Campbell, that area. People were very much focused on that small section of the city. When we expanded our search and identified the additional cases, some of them actually occurred on the east side. So now we're looking over to 32nd Street, Van Buren, Thomas Road. So it's impacting a greater area of our city than people still want to believe. People want to say, that's not going to happen to me because it's only happening in this segment or it's only happening in this area. The concern on this case is that we know he has access to multiple cars. He could strike anywhere at any time. I'm not trying to instill fear in anybody, but I don't think there's too many times you've seen the Phoenix Police Department up here saying you need to be concerned, you need to be aware, and you need to raise your level of awareness to a healthy level. I don't want you to go home and start looking behind every bush and think I can't walk safely to my house. I heard somebody had concerns about taking the light rail tonight. No issues with the light rail. There's nothing that this series would relate. I'd give you the same safety tips for the light rail that any other major city would give you. But I can tell you on that particular topic, we have very little true crime on the light rail. So go about your daily business, but as you're doing that, this is the challenge, and I already got caught earlier today, heads out of the cell phones, right? As you're walking down to get to your house, that's where this man is striking. So if you're looking like this and you're not paying attention to your surroundings, that's when there's a danger. If you're not thinking about yourself, think about your friends, your family, your neighbor. You know your neighborhoods better than we do. We work our precincts and we work the police department so that we have neighborhood officers, but you live there. You see it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what cars belong, you know what people belong. You'll hear us talk about reporting suspicious behaviors, suspicious people. I'm going to take that a step further and say unfamiliar behaviors, unfamiliar people. You know who belongs in your neighborhood. I'm not saying we're sending a SWAT team out because you saw somebody new in your neighborhood, but I'm saying it's at least worth the call to let us come out and evaluate the information with you. Right now we have officers from ATF on the streets and investigating. We have the U.S. Marshals working with us. We have the FBI working with us. We have DPS working with us, MCSO working with us, and Phoenix Police Department. We have so many agencies and we have dedicated so many resources to this that if you call us up and say, this is what I'm seeing right now, I'm concerned it's related, we're going to come out and help evaluate and hopefully alleviate your concerns, or better yet, find this guy and put a stop to it once and for all. Does it? Yes, perfect.
So there's consistency with that people are walking when they are the victim?
So they're not walking. So most of them are either, again, in or outside of a car,
Okay.
or just about. So to give you some scenarios, we had one man that just arrived at his girlfriend's house. His crime was he was there to pick up his girlfriend. We had another man, his crime, he was washing his girlfriend's car. We had another man stopped in the neighborhood to make a cell phone call. We had 3 women, their crime, they were sitting in the car to listen to music. These are victims, true victims with families and everything else. And that's why it's just so important that we keep the information alive. The last strike was July 11th. So we're coming up on 2 months with no incidents. That's great. That means 2 months where nobody else has gotten hurt. But it also means that 2 months to fade from people's memory. And we're not trying to allow this to fade from our residents' memory, because we need to find him and stop him and bring him to justice. We need to give these families some closure. So we continue to solicit tips. I'm a little cautious, and I've certainly done it. I'm using this as a memory jogger. I'm using this so that you can have a conversation with your neighbors, with your family about what's going on. What's happened to us, though, longer term, is that people are very focused on this black BMW. And we're pretty confident in that vehicle description, but we also know that he has access to multiple vehicles. So we don't want people to focus on black BMWs, right? There's over 30,000 black BMWs in Maricopa County alone, and we're getting many calls every day saying, I just saw a black BMW. You can imagine that's challenging for us. I don't want to turn those people away because one of them's going to be right. But if you can safely get a license plate, that certainly helps us out, and anything beyond that. Same thing on the composite sketch that we have. We're confident in our sketch artists. We're confident that the person who provided that is providing his perspective of what that person looked like. That's at least 2 months ago, right? We can all get a haircut, we can color our hair, we can grow a beard, we can do many things, especially as men, to change our appearance. Additionally, we all have different perspectives. We all see people a little bit differently. So this guy's gone through a very traumatic experience, did the best he could to get us this composite. If you have suspicions, if your friends or family have suspicions, but says, well, I don't think so because he doesn't look like the composite, wipe the composite out. It does not matter. That's one person's opinion. Call us anyway. Those are the calls that we're really looking to generate.
What kind of weapon did you mention is he using?
In each incident, and don't take this one too far, in each incident he's used a handgun. About the only information that I don't get overly detailed on is some of the physical evidence, and that would be one of them, because it's not going to protect you or your neighbor or your friends if I say, here's the exact model that he's using, or here's the exact type of his tires. You know, things like that don't help us. The things that help is, what is he doing? What does he maybe look like? What type of vehicles does he have? And who's he attacking? What are the areas? And those are residential areas, for the most part, at night. So that's why it's important as you're coming and going from your house, off your phones, really pay attention. We know he has been using the handgun. Sometimes he's in the car and he's fired from within his own car. Other times he's gotten out of the car. So again, we have a little bit of randomness here. So please help us to continue to spread the word that it's important that we keep this conversation alive. Know your neighbors, know what type of vehicles they drive, so you know what to expect when you turn on your street. When you turn down your street at 8 o'clock at night and you see a different vehicle driving around, that should raise some red flags right now. You should say, who is that in that vehicle? And if your spidey senses tell you something's wrong, trust your instincts and call 911. Right now the reward, as you see, is $75,000 for information leading to his arrest. And that's through silent witness. So the challenge here is that if you have immediate information, if you have immediate concerns, you need to call 911. If you do that, we'll help put you in touch with silent witness after the fact, should your information be accurate, so that you can get that reward. If you don't call them, though, then you're not eligible for the reward. So there's a bit of a difference. The silent witness calls are the, hey, I have suspicions about this person. Hey, yesterday I saw this. Something that's occurring right now, we still need to focus on 911. Did I say a hang-up? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just curious. So if I see a car idling on the street, it could be either a potential victim or possibly the shooter. Does he spend time idling on the street?
He is, absolutely. So that'd be a perfect example of when you should call the police. Especially, it's a car you don't recognize from the neighborhood. You drive on, you hear it, you see it, it's idling for an extended period of time. Take a look, do it safely. Call the police, say, hey, there's somebody I don't know out here. They're not from our neighborhood. the car's been on and for whatever period of time you're comfortable with, and give us a call. Again, he's had cars that have been described as white Lincoln, white Cadillac, white sedan, gray sedan, brown sedan, and this black BMW. So it really runs the gamut. So I can't tell you, no, don't call me unless it's a black BMW.
I do want to thank you for making the time and coming out today.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for
Thank you.
having us, and continue to help us. Thank you very much.